I come from a very strong presence of addiction. My mother is an addict. I lost my stepdad to cirrhosis of the liver from his alcohol and drug use. And then my two oldest twin brothers both died from overdoses and poisoning. So Stephen passed in August of 2009 to a heroin overdose. His twin brother Scott passed in August of 2022. He thought he was taking cocaine. It was fentanyl and isotoniazine. And the medical examiner had said that it was the first case in Central Florida where she had actually detected that in the blood. I'm the only girl. I have five brothers, so my brothers, especially the twins, they were 12 years older, were super, super, super protective of me. And so looking back, that kind of time frame in our family is kind of where I see everything kind of becoming unraveled. That's when I noticed my mom was starting to do pills. My stepdad was smoking marijuana. The boys started experimenting with drugs. And I think that they just really struggled with that. And then being around it, their mom was an alcoholic. Their dad was an alcoholic and drug user. So I think just being around it once they got introduced to it just kind of added fuel to the fire. So I work for the U.S. Attorney's Office and I work in the narcotics unit. So we prosecute crimes on the federal level of narcotics violations. For my brothers, we know the drug dealer that has given both of them the drugs that killed them, and he's been supplying my family for years. Like I said, my mother's an opioid addict. My little brother was. And actually, when Scott passed in 2022, the morning of his funeral, he was at my grandmother's house giving my little brother drugs. Unfortunately, because of everything that has to go into the investigation and being able to, successfully prosecute a case, they have not been able to tie it all to him. My brother had like an old phone, so they weren't able to crack into the phone. So I think that that's another thing, kind of like the test strips, where like if you're not in the field, a lot of people just want, well, I know who gave it to my kid or my brother, or whoever, they should be in jail. And I share the same sentiment, but I also, on the other side, professionally understand what goes into a prosecution. It's kind of one of those scenarios where they think, it'll never be me. And as far as the remorse on the dealer side, they don't care about the people. They're just there to make a profit. That's their livelihood. So they don't care. The guy knew that he killed my brother. He even made a comment to my little brother about, I know his funeral's today. So this will just kind of like, take the edge off or whatever. So I mean, they don't care. It's almost like you can't go to the grocery store and run into somebody who doesn't, addiction hasn't touched them or their families. But I think the world just needs more love and compassion and hope. And, we're in like some really dark times with everything going on everywhere. And I mean, addiction is still just there. I mean, if anything, it's getting worse.